This is about to be the most brutally honest tier list you have ever seen. This tier list is going to be for 1v1s. If you want a 2v2 tier list, it is going to be coming out on Friday. Subscribe so you do not miss out. But wait. Every single tier list that I have has rules. And honestly, I'm not sure why it does, because comments suggest that some of y'all don't actually understand the rules at all and just say what's on your mind. That's okay, because I like reading all your comments. The first rule: this is not a top high level tier playlist. 99.99% of y'all are never going to become pro. 99.9% of y'all probably don't even care about hitting top ranks on anything. This is going to be for the majority of the player base that wants to get more wins with a character that is strong. High tier and top level play are not the same. If you see some pro player make a tier list, that is with their thoughts on high level gaming, which means it most likely won't apply to you. Rule number 2. This one's pretty simple. It's going to be based off how hard the character is to play. Pretty simple, everyone can follow along with that one. Rule number 3 is how easy it is for the character to do their job. Some characters want to do specific things, and is it hard to do with that character or not? And of course, rule number 4, don't forget to comment. I'm 1,000 bajillion% sure that you're going to disagree with this list, but let's go. All right, so the first character that we have is Arya. Now, Arya is not actually a bad character. I've noticed that when characters are hard, they are considered bad characters. Because MultiVersus is a very easy game to get into, I've noticed that characters that are considered bad are usually the hard characters. That doesn't mean they're bad, they're just hard to play, and you're gonna need to be good to play the character. That's all. When it comes to the ease of use of Arya, what she wants to do is actually not that difficult. She just wants to blast you into the blast zone. I mean, I guess that's like the whole roster, but hear me out. With Arya, she has a few ways to do it. There's not a lot of avenues. You pretty much know exactly how an Arya is gonna ring you out, so it's very simplistic on that part. You pretty much already know how she's gonna go about it. The problem is going about doing it is the hard part. Arya is a very mechanical character. If you whiff things, you're gonna be punished hard. She's very lightweight. She really makes it hard for a player that doesn't understand how to play the character to win the game. I consider Arya a Powerball jackpot. Now you might be wondering, what is a Powerball jackpot? That makes no sense. The odds of you winning with Arya with 0 experience are 1 out of a bajillion. Basically as much of a chance to win at the Powerball jackpot. You are going to need to put time into this character before you can make her do anything, and then from there, you're gonna need to put more time into that character in order for her to be very good. The major issue with a character like Arya is it's a balanced nightmare. When a type of character like this is good, they are actually just really broken. So when they have a rough patch, it's really rough, and when they have a good patch, it is really good. Next, we have the Banana Guard. Now, the Banana Guard got a recent nerf, and let me just tell you, it wasn't much. He pretty much is still the exact same. In terms of ease of use, the Banana Guard literally is a few buttons, and then in terms of his overall game plan, it's very easy to do. He's a very straightforward character. Now, you might be thinking, well, in 1v1s, it's easy to jump over and blah, blah, blah. That's not how it works. When playing a fighting game, it is never about the character you're going against. It's about the player you're going against. Should the Banana Guard be your equal skill level, they will win most of the time. Why? Because he is easy to use and his game plan is very simple. Whereas you may be playing a character that has more of a complicated game plan and probably a little bit harder to execute. This means the Banana Guard can focus more on the game rather than focusing on how to pilot his character. Easy 777 slot machine. When you select these characters, you are automatically going to be cashed out. No, you getting cashed out win after win after win, and if you lose, it's because the game lagged you out. Let's be honest. Next, we have Batman. Ooh, I hate me some Batman. All right, so Batman in a 1v1 scenario, he's pretty nasty. Now, the thing is with Batman is like, he's really a skill check type of character. Batman is a problem, don't get me wrong, but if you understand what Batman does, Batman then becomes less of a problem, if that makes sense. He's one of those characters. He's a skill check character. He really wants to know, do you understand how to play MultiVersus? And do you understand how my character works? If you could check yes to both of those, it's a much easier chance to beat the character. So when it comes to ease of use, Batman can literally press any button and it works. Like literally, Batman has gadgets out the wazoo, right? He has a plan for everything if you know about Batman lore. That's how he is in the game. It doesn't matter which button it is, that plan is going to do something impactful. I do think his hook shot might need to cool down because the fact that he can just rip one off repeatedly kind of blows, but you can just dodge it. So I mean, there is counterplay, but like I don't want to have to deal with that repeatedly. In terms of his game plan, Batman's really flexible, and I think that's one of the things that makes Batman a really good character. Yes, he has a game plan, but he can approach that game plan in so many different ways. It's really cool. It's a really cool design. Don't get me wrong. I just hate going against him. That being said, if you're going against someone of the majority of the player base, which this list is for, you're most likely going to beat them because they don't understand how Batman works. And even if they do understand how Batman works, he's still a pain in the butt. 777 slot machine. You picked this character, you cashed out instantly. No, you're about to get thousands and thousands of wins easily. Next character that we have is Black Adam. So Black Adam, Black Adam. Me and Black Adam got a little bit of history, I'm not gonna lie. So when it comes to Black Adam, in terms of ease of use, he's not hard, but he's not easy. Let me explain. So when it comes to ease of use, this character doesn't really, his combos aren't intuitive. When you think of something like Batman, you press any button, they kind of just all kind of go together, and it doesn't really matter which order you press them. They'll eventually like connect. That's just how he's designed. Black Adam doesn't really have moves like that. He doesn't have a way to just press this button and that button and then that button, it all goes together. That's not how it works. You're gonna have to be creative. That being said, he has two abilities that are very, very strong. The one where he jumps and shoots 2 bolts down, or the one where he claps his hands together. That move, hitbox, is ridiculous. Now you could say, well, you could just get behind him. No, his edge guarding potential is nasty. If Black Adam has a shred of clue of what to do to edge guard you, his whole body is literally that hitbox, basically. And that's what makes him a good character. However, that doesn't mean you'll automatically win because, again, everything is not intuitive as other characters, and you're gonna need to set yourself up to be in a position to be able to do that. Yes, Black Adam is annoying, but that doesn't mean the character is just freeload 777 slot machine wins. This is gonna be our first ticket scratcher character. Now you might be wondering, ticket scratcher, what is that? Well, you know a ticket scratcher, right? You go to the store, get a ticket scratcher, you scratch that, you can win. That's how this list is. When you play Black Adam, you're gonna win a little something, something. You know, you're not gonna win crazy amounts and whatnot, but even if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably gonna win a little something, something, and that's exactly what he deserves to be in. He's not that great to where you don't understand what you're doing and you're about to pocket all these wins, but once you get a clue on how to play Black Adam, you're gonna start winning more often than not. Next, we have Bugs Bunny. Okay, so there's like 2 types of Bugs Bunnies in this game right now. You have the stun locker Bugs Bunny, which is just gonna, you know, spam that stun lock, spin, hammer, spin, hammer, spin, hammer, and then you just actually like have the regular Bugs Bunny where you know, you go and spam and then do the up air and then smack you into the, okay, I guess that Bugs Bunny's broke. Okay, so ease of use. Bugs Bunny is actually not that difficult to play. Now hold up, I know y'all in comments gonna say something like Bugs Bunny could do this, he's so crazy. You don't need to do any of that to play Bugs Bunny, okay? You can get away with doing a safe and a rocket and a bat into the air. That's all you need to do. And so when I'm talking about these characters, especially ones that have a lot of options, this is not a top play tier list. This is not the crazy 1%. People can play these characters without having to do any of that. That's the whole design of the game. It is meant to be beginner friendly. Bugs Bunny, beginner friendly. You don't need to do much. His hitboxes are crazy. He has disjointed hitboxes. His ring out potential is insane. He has projectiles that you have to worry about. This dude is easily a 777 slot machine. This character has so much going on, you never really know what he's gonna do next. That automatically is gonna throw your opponent. Mostly all fighting games are about technical warfare, which is with your fingers, of course, but mental warfare as well. And Bugs excels at that mental warfare. Unless you study this character and how it moves and what it does, you are most likely going to lose to this character more often than not because the match is already kind of in their favor. And as I said, this dude's ring out potential is insane. The hitbox is crazy. The amount of push that it does is crazy. The amount of damage that it does is crazy. I mean, this character is nutty. For sure, easy 777 slot machine. Next we have is Finn. I cannot stand, this is why I'm sitting down, because I cannot stand Finn. What is wrong with Finn? Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you. So the ease of use. Finn is very easy to play because everything does something and connects into something else. It is one of the most chain heavy characters I've ever seen in a game. Batman is like button mashy spamming, don't get me wrong, but like Finn has like all his stuff like intertwined. It's very weird. Like if you ever play Finn, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but like all his stuff works. Like actually just works together like it's just smooth as grease. On top of that, the character has a lot of disjointed hitboxes and the character gets very, very low to the ground. So not only is he fast, not only does he have a gimmick to where he can buy stuff and make him faster or tankier, not only does all his attacks go together like it ain't nothing, not only is he smaller and has all these disjointed hitboxes, I mean, the character is just very, very insane. And even if you understand what he does, his hitboxes are just insanely large. And so I don't really know how they're going to balance that character. I don't know if that's where they want him. Who knows? But right now, bro, that dude is 777 slot machine. Play that character, you're going to win. Cashed out, wins. You would never have to work a day in your life playing Finn. As a matter of fact, put that bad boy first. That's how good that character is. That character is nasty. So next we have up is Garnet. Now, a lot of people think Garnet is bad. Garnet's not actually bad. She's kind of like Mario if you play Smash Brothers, or she's kind of like Ryu if you play Street Fighter, or Jin if you play Tekken. She's one of those all-rounder characters that are just kind of like, I'm here to teach you the game. So if you understand how to play MultiVersus, you're probably going to do well with this character. That doesn't mean she's bad. She just has nothing extravagant in anything like that. But she really does help you play the game of MultiVersus really well because she has no crazy, insane gimmicks. Now, she does have a way to buff herself, don't get me wrong. And that's a great way to teach you how to manage your cooldowns and things like that if you learn how to like stay with her in rhythm, basically. So I definitely think she's a ticket scratcher. You know what I mean? She's not going to give you a bajillion type of crazy wins, but once you get some games on her, you're going to win more often than not easily. The next character we have is Gizmo. Another one of those characters where people are going to say, well, he could do this. That's not what this list is about. You do not need to do any of that to play Gizmo. Let me tell you why. Gizmo right now is broken, and not in a good way to where like, oh, great players make Gizmo broken. No, Gizmo is just broken flat out. He's unbalanced. He's very small. So he's the smallest character in the cast. He's extremely hard to hit. Now you could say, well, Poppin, he's small, but he could get launched very easily. Well, that requires someone to understand how to hit you properly, especially when you're moving around the map at 1,000,000 miles per hour. On top of that, he has projectiles, which I think do entirely too much damage. And if he charges it, he gets it refunded, which I also think should not be a thing. Not to mention his ring out potential is insane. Not to mention his hitboxes are insane. You can literally throw an up air or a down air and my mans will hit you. No, this is what he does. Why would a character do something like this? Like, come, play it first. For real? So when it comes to Gizmo, like everything connects, everything just does way too much damage in my opinion. Everything, he just is too much right now. He's too much and the size of him makes him a force to be reckoned with right off the bat. Easy 777 slot machine. Like even if you don't know what Gizmo does and you just randomly play this character, I promise you you're probably gonna win more than you lose for your first few games. And then once you understand what he does, even if you don't wanna shoot the arrow into the popcorn or play the music notes or whatever, even if you don't wanna do any of that, once you get some games on him, you're gonna be winning more often than not. The character's a menace. Next up, we have Harley Quinn. Now, I've been waiting to talk about Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn mains, get your keyboards ready. Go ahead and get to them comments because it's brutally honest tier list I ain't playing. Harley Quinn is the most unhealthy character in this entire game. Now, you might be thinking, Poppin, you said Finn was blah, blah. No, Finn is a menace too, and so is Gizmo. And so, you know what? Just Finn is a menace. But Finn doesn't do things as easily as Harley Quinn, and Finn, even though he's annoying, again, doesn't do things as easy as Harley Quinn. Let me explain. Everything Harley Quinn does leads into something. Like, the thing with Finn is like, he doesn't have like straight up combos like that. Like it doesn't link like a Street Fighter combo. It's more of strings, you know what I mean? It's more of like, this goes into this, but there's still potential to miss, it's potential to drop, whatever. Harley Quinn, there is no potential to miss. There's no potential to drop. It's very hard to punish. The hitboxes are massive. Everything is easy. She's disjointed almost on every single, bro, downslide, smaller than Gizmo. Why is that okay? And the hitbox is massive. It doesn't even need to hit you and it'll hit you. Bro, huh? The dash attack where she spins on her hands, disjointed, makes her smaller. Then you also have the hammer in the air when she spins in a 360 motion. Who signed that off? Like, bro, now you could say, yeah, but Harley Quinn's easy to punish anyway. Don't give me that. This character's broken. This is unhealthy. I think what they need to do, I don't know what they need to do. I'm not a balancer, but they need to do something with this character. This type of character is one of those characters when you like load into it, you're already not gonna have fun before the match starts. And no developer wants characters that are anti-fun because it makes people want to quit. This character makes me want to quit playing the night. I'm trying to tell you, I just walk off the stage as soon as that match starts. It's just good at everything, but usually characters that are good at everything aren't great at anything. Bro, this character is excelling in every category that she has. Again, very, very unhealthy for the game in my opinion. I mean, I told you, get them comments ready. Matter of fact, she's so unhealthy, bro. I'm about to make another list, bro. You ain't saying nothing. Bro, add that junk up there. We about to make a whole new list on the spot. Poppin', why don't you edit this out? No, because I want y'all to see my pain. So this is just unhealthy. Harley. Boop, there you go. The funny thing is, I don't actually lose to them as often as you think, but the thing is, you have to play out of your mind to beat this. I don't want to have to play out of my mind to beat someone who is just button mashing. I'm a little emotional. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. Next character we have is Iron Giant. Bro, this character ain't even in the game, let me be honest. All right, so based off before he was removed, he was a menace because he has a whole bunch of loops. But honestly, I think the character is not that bad at all. I'm just gonna say he's a local bingo night. The reason why I say that is because in ones, it's kind of easy to take advantage of one unless they actually understand how to play the game. But he's not a hard character. But you know, local bingo night, if you wanna have some fun, if you wanna mingle because you single, this is where good character for sure. But again, not gonna get you any crazy wins. And even if you learn the character, you still might not gain those wins. You're gonna have to put some time into it. Again, not because it's hard, but just because he's awkward, he's huge. And big characters are usually really, really hard to play in this game. Next character that we have is Jake. My God, bro. I'm not gonna be biased, bro. If I had to rate this character myself, just for me, easily unhealthy, but he's not that bad. Jake is just a weird character, and you know, every game has those characters that are very weird and awkward to play against, and you kind of have to play, like when people play Jake, they're not playing MultiVersus, they're playing Jake, and like you have to keep that in mind when you are playing against the Jake, and play against Jake how Jake needs to be played against. That's like the only thing I could say about that character in terms of how it plays, and I hope you guys can understand it that way. I definitely think he is it's a tie between local bingo night and ticket scratcher, because again, it's about that mental warfare. The good Jake players can really make you like stop and think and be like, bro, what is it that you're doing? But you're gonna have to put games into him. So you know what? We're gonna put him at local bingo night. That's what we're gonna do. Character is actually pretty dang decent, but you're gonna have to put more games into him to make him work, and then you're gonna have to put more games into again to like really make him a menace. But he's not that crazy. Once you learn what he does, you're gonna have an easier time winning. It's really up to the Jake player to start putting you on your toes. And again, considering majority of the player base aren't those top 1% type players that I'm talking about, or pro players, you most likely aren't gonna have a problem with Jake unless they are a true Jake main. Next character that we have is Jason. Bro. All right, in terms of ease of use, character is actually mad easy. Like, the character is mad easy. I actually really like Jason. I like how they depict him, and I'll say this every single time. He's a great character. He looks cool. He acts cool. His moves go together. They're not weird and wonky. They actually make sense. Really good character. When it comes down to what he wants to do, Jason is in a rough spot because a lot of the big characters are. A lot of the meta right now are characters with disjointed hitboxes or that are very small. When you're playing a big character, you're sometimes going to have a really hard time hitting them. And by the time you go to punish them, the smaller, faster character already has something that you're about to let rip and start smacking you again. And so when it comes to big characters, and when it comes to Jason, I definitely think he has a harder time because he's big, but also Jason's game plan isn't really that coherent. It's one of those characters where it's like, you really are going to have to make it work for you. He doesn't actually just have a plan and it's like, I'm going to do this into this into this. As much as some players may think like, oh, it's this easy to do this and it's this easy to do that. That's not really how it works, especially with big characters and all these fast characters or small characters. Jason struggles like hard. And again, nothing is very intuitive. I'm gonna put him at Powerbomb. You basically have a 1 in a bajillion chance of winning with this character, not because he's hard, but because he doesn't actually have a game plan for you. You literally are just walking in and smacking stuff. Until you get games under your belt or you decide to sign that contract that says, I'm gonna main you and play 1,000 bajillion games, you're most likely not gonna win with this character in ones, like ever. So, like he is just a big punching bag, I promise. Next character that we have is Joker. All right. If I were to be biased, I put Joker at unhealthy as well, right along with his little thing up there. But It's supposed to be honest. I'm not supposed to be biased. I'm supposed to be honest with how I feel about things, okay? But man, Joker's a pain. So what makes Joker a pain? Well, let's talk about his ease of use. The character is easy. This is one of those characters that have a bajillion options, but you don't even need to do them. You just do 2 options and you're good to go. The first option is to up tilt, knock him in the air, juggle, and smack off the screen. The other option is to do your air side special, where he does a thing and he twists his cane, and then with your disjointed hitbox that's freaking massive, and then continue to swing up. So I mean, you know, it leads into the same avenue, and it's very easy to do. Is it easy to pull that off? Yes, it's extremely easy to pull that off. His hitbox is massive. Like, this dude's up tilt, I think he's the only character right now that I could think of. Let me know in the comments. But I think he's literally the only character with a hitbox on a up tilt the size of this man's character. From literally ankle to ankle, this dude is smacking you with a hitbox, which means it's very easy to continuously hit you. I also don't know if you know this, but there is no collision inside of MultiVersus. The only collision that you have is if you're both on the ground and walk into each other. You can't go through them. But should you fall into their model, you will be hit by everything. If it's an attack that is not supposed to hit you, because you're inside of their model, you will get hit by everything. Pair his hitbox with the fact that you can be hit if you are inside of him. His hitbox for his up air is the size of his character, literally. The side special thing, again, disjointed. It's really hard to avoid. He has very easy KOs. The reason why I want to say, bro, he's unhealthy. He's unhealthy, bro. I'm not even about to play that game. Bro is unhealthy. He's very hard to punish, and also his game plan is very easy and he's very easy to execute. You don't need to do any of his extra card throws or setups. You don't need to do any of that. Now, are there good Harley Quinn players and good Joker players? No, there's not. No. I'm toxic. There obviously are good players who play these characters, right? It's not their fault the character is strong, and even if the character wasn't strong, these good players would make these characters good because they love the character. That being said, this list is not for them. The average player playing these characters is very unhealthy to play against, and it's very easy to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So I'm gonna put him at unhealthy. This wasn't even in the plan to make an unhealthy category, but as I was speaking about these characters, bro, they need to go. The next character that we have is LeBron James. So LeBron James just got hit with a patch that would make it so that only the player can be hit with 1 basketball. If the basketball were try to strike twice, it wouldn't work. They can walk straight through it. So I think that was a really, really big hit to LeBron, but I don't think the character is actually bad at all. I think LeBron is actually pretty solid. The thing that makes LeBron difficult, I think, is managing the basketball. A lot of players don't really understand that you're not supposed to just like throw away that thing willy-nilly and just not have one. But once you figure that mechanic out, he's not that difficult to play. In terms of his job, in terms of like KOing people, and in terms of what he wants to do with his basketballs, it's not that difficult to do. It's just when you play LeBron James, you're not playing MultiVersus. Once again, it's kind of like Jake. You're playing like LeBron James. And so the character is actually good, but as a player, you're not gonna know the character is good until you put some time into this character. It's gonna take more time than like a ticket scratcher. Like, yeah, maybe about 5-10 games, you're good to go. With local bingo night, I mean, you really are gonna have to commit to this character. Not as hard as Powerball. Like, you can still get some wins, but you're gonna have to commit to LeBron for him to actually like work. But he's not a bad character. I think he's pretty solid for sure. And he's very smooth and fast once you learn how to play the character itself. Next character that we have is Marvin. All right, so Marvin's one of those characters where players think that it's a little bit harder than what he is. I think what people classify as a hard character is based off how many options a character has, and that doesn't necessarily make them a hard character. When it comes to ease of use, everything Marvin does is easy. It's as simple as pressing 1, 2, 3. In terms of what he wants to do, it's a little bit more difficult, but again, it's not actually hard. Now, that's not to say, again, the skill ceiling for the character is low. I'm not saying that. And again, that's not what this list is for, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get those comments that, well, these characters can do this and that, and it's not about that. You can be successful with Marvin without doing anything like that. And that's what this list is about. It's about which characters can perform well without actually having to do much work and getting free wins. In my opinion, Marvin's kind of like a ticket scratcher. He's very weird with how he wants to play when you first get your hands on him. But when you play him for about 3 or 4 matches, you'll understand the game plan. Now, does that mean that, again, his skill ceiling is low? No, that doesn't mean that. But in terms of an average player playing this character, when you play more, you're going to easily understand how to win with them, even if it's not the optimal, put the flag down, do this, reverse that. No, even if you don't play like that, you'll still get wins on this character. He's not a bad character. He's just very wonky. The thing with Marvin, though, and why he's not at local bingo night is because Marvin actually, like, is still a multiverse character. When you're playing Marvin, you're still playing MultiVersus. It's not like you're just playing Marvin. And so that's why I think he deserves to still be in the ticket scratcher. Once you get used to him, you're gonna have a good time. He is very awkward, don't get me wrong, but Marvin allows you to do the job that he wants to do without having to do all the complicated mumbo jumbo stuff attached to it. Next character that we have is Morty. God, Morty. Okay, so another character, again, that may be in the comments about, you know, how he can do this, he could do that, he has so many options. You don't need to do any of that. His up air is extremely strong and very easy to KO with. Blowing up the grenade is simple as pressing a button because the bullet actually goes to the grenade by itself. He has a lot of tools and a lot of cooldowns, but that doesn't make the character difficult because you don't really need to manage any of that to make the character work. Again, I personally feel like it's a misconception on how difficult characters are based off what their toolkit provides. That does not make a difficult character, especially if the character can perform without doing any of what that is there. When it comes to Morty, he can pretty much press a couple of buttons and the job's done. He doesn't really need to do anything complicated and he'll be able to mop up the competition. He's very small, so he's hard to hit. On top of that, he's a bruiser, so he's pretty tanky. Like, oh boy definitely is a 777 slot machine. If you play this character, he's disgusting. Next character that we have is Reindog. So, in the last tier list, I said the character was hard, but again, that was more for the beginners coming into the game and you know whatnot. But this tier list is basically assuming you know how to play the game at this point. Reindog is not that difficult to play after you understand how to play the game. However, you most likely aren't going to win matches unless you sign that contract that says I want to main the character. In terms of ease of use, again, Reindog's not that hard to play and he has some great attacks. I think it's his down special, well, not down special, but I think it's his down smash where it's a circle. Really good attack. And I know they also patched him a little bit to make his stuff a little bit more horizontal. That doesn't make this character that great though, because you're relying more on connecting those attacks. And a lot of characters have better answers to melee attacks than Reindog, especially because Reindog is a mage. So I'm gonna put him at Powerball Jackpot. The odds of you winning with Reindog knowing nothing are probably really slim. The odds of you winning with Reindog, playing him for a few games, slim. The odds of you winning games, mastering Reindog is higher, but you're gonna have to play a lot of games before that happens because again, there's a lot of characters in this game that have a lot better options in terms of how they're gonna approach, how they're gonna react, how they're gonna punish, just way better than Reindog in that regard. The next character that we have is Rick. Bro, this character, I love this character. This character is such a skillful character. I mean, I don't really have much to say. This character is just naughty. When it comes to playing this character, right, you're gonna need to know what you're doing. You're gonna need to know how to play Rick. You're gonna need to know how to play MultiVersus. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You cannot play Rick unless you understand how to play Rick, period. And I think that right there warrants a Powerball Jackpot. There's not really much to say. This character is like one of the most balanced characters in the game, in my opinion, and he really rewards you for learning how to play the game. Once you learn how to play the game and play Rick, this guy is nasty with his potential. He does have a few simple combos, don't get me wrong, but you're still not gonna win some games with that. You're gonna need to sign that contract and play. I don't think that he is behind all these guys though. I think he's a little bit more up ahead because he's not actually he's really, really good of a character. It's just how to use him and what he wants to do with his job is very, very complicated. Matter of fact, I lied. We're gonna put him in the back. Again, this is not based off the characters being just horrible and bad, and that's not what this tier list is for. This is for free wins or not. When it comes to playing Rick, the wins are just not there until you learn how to play the character. Once you learn how to play Rick, once you learn how to play MultiVersus, bro, this character is nasty, and you probably are gonna win more often than not. He is a very, solid character in my opinion. Again, one of the most balanced ones in the game. Next character that we have is Shaggy. Oh God. All right, so Shaggy, one of the issues with Shaggy is that he has a very high KO potential and he's very good at spamming. The ease of use for this character is very simple. There's not really anything hard to this character at all. Yes, there's combos and stuff like that you can do, but like on a basic level, he's not that difficult to play. When it comes to what he wants to do and the ease of doing what he wants to do, it's also just not that difficult to do that. He can accomplish his goals relatively easy without actually having to put much effort into it. That being said, in a 1v1 scenario, even an average player will be able to beat a spamming Shaggy. So you can't really just spam because it just won't work in a 1v1 scenario, even if they're both equal skill level. He's more of a ticket scratcher. You know, you'll win more than you'll lose, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing crazy. And when you start to actually put more effort into learning Shaggy, you will start winning, and he's more of a 777 slot machine character. But the thing is, like, he's just so predictable at this point. Every Shaggy does the exact same thing. And if you lose to a Shaggy more often than not, you just aren't piecing that puzzle together that they all do the exact same thing. So I think he deserves to be at a ticket scratcher. However, if you learn how to do your stuff differently, he then is a 7/7 slot machine. But most players just don't lose to Shaggy as much anymore because he's just too predictable. Next character that we have is Steven Universe. Another character where people feel like he's very, very like complicated and he's very hard. A character that has multiple options does not make a character difficult. If the character can excel at what it does without actually having to pull out all the stops, it doesn't matter. Steven is that type of character. Everything that he does is easy. It's not really about him being a complicated character. It's more about he has a lot of options, and it's really up to you to be creative on how you use those options. When it comes to the ease of use of how to do their job, Steven does his job really easily. He wants to hold that stage control, and it's very easy to do so. He has the shields, his model is very small, so it's hard to hit him. He has a lot of damage. He's classified as a tank, so he's a little bit more heavy. He has easy ways to KO you if he traps you in a bubble. Like, bro, this character is pretty nasty, and he keeps players on their toes. Again, another skill check character, but he doesn't actually have to do everything to make it work. I think easily a 7/7/7 slot machine. I want to say he's kind of right next to Gizmo. Again, it's not that difficult to play the character. Yes, the character has options, but that's not what this tier list is about. I'm going to keep saying it, even though that I say it, I'm still going to see it in the comments, I'm sure. Just because a character has multiple options does not mean you have to use all those options to be effective. You can take wins home without actually having to do any of that. This is not top tier. You're going against a pro player. You're going against another top 1%. No, you're going against the majority of the player base, and the majority of the player base are going to be defeated by just the simplest things that the character does because it's so effective. Next character that we have is Stripe. Oh God. Okay, Stripe, I like Stripe. Stripe is one of those characters where it's like, bro, like, what do you even do? In terms of how to use Stripe, Stripe's not that hard to play at all. Most characters, I think, in this game are not that difficult to play. It's just how to execute their job. When it comes to executing the Stripe's job, he doesn't really have a blueprint to what he wants to do. I mean, you can kind of say he does, but in my experience, you have a lot of ways to do what you want to do. He's similar to Batman. He doesn't really have a tall tale way to be like, hey, yo, do this and you'll get KOs. Like Arya, as an example. Arya has a blueprint. You do the blueprint, you get kills. With Stripe, it's like, you kind of can just do what you want. It's a really cool character, and I think it's very funky and designed well, and I actually really like him. I'm gonna just put him in the ticket scratcher category. Again, not complicated, not hard to do. I'm gonna put him actually in front of Marvin though. Not complicated, not hard. Once you get some games onto him, you're gonna win more than you lose easily. But he's definitely not local bingo night. Like, you're gonna get more wins, and it doesn't require that many games to play. And it's not a slot machine because you're not just going to drop in and start KOing people like nothing. It's going to take some time, but once you get it, he's going to give you some free wins. He's a really good character in my opinion, very solid character, and really he's kind of like Rick in the sense of he's as good as you are. If you're a good player, that character will be fun and will be really cool and will start mopping up kids. If you're not a good player and you don't put a lot of effort into Stripe, then he's probably not going to serve you that much. The next character that we have is Superman. I've been spamming Superman. Superman has an issue hitting smaller characters. Superman also has an issue with getting glitched on the map. If you try to fly, he'll get stuck in spaces. Superman also has a glitch where he uses his laser eyes. I don't know what the actual term, heat vision. He has heat vision on the ground, but it doesn't explode and knock people up. Superman just has a lot of issues right now, and I really wouldn't recommend playing the character. And I know he's free on rotation this week, so if you play him, you probably understand what I mean. There's a lot of issues with this character, and if you lose to a Superman, it's most likely because they're spamming rather than like actually playing the game, and you're just walking into their spam. So like, he's that slow of a character. What makes Superman strong is his great ring out potential. So when it comes to ease of use, he's not actually that hard to play at all. When it comes to how easy it is to execute what he wants to do, that's where it becomes more difficult. Again, he's very glitchy right now, and he has two moves that you're most likely not going to use that often: his Frost Breath and his Punch. You're not going to use those in a 1v1 scenario. You're going to get punished extremely hard should you use them. You can use them every now and then, but they're just not something you're going to incorporate in your play that often. So the fact that he's glitchy, the fact that he, you know, is not going to use two of his abilities in his kit, and the fact that his hitboxes cannot really hit, you're going to struggle against characters that are small or very fast. I promise you that without a doubt. You're going to struggle. Are you going to lose to them automatically? No, but it's going to make you want to rip your hair out. I think he is definitely a local bingo night type of character. I think he's going to be in front of LeBron for the simple fact that he's not that difficult. Let me put like this. There you go. For the simple fact that he's not going to take you a ton of games to get used to play him properly. But even when you learn to play him properly, he still kind of like sucks. Matter of fact, we're just going to put him, we're just going to put him down here. He's definitely in front of Arya. Like, if there was a thing in between local bingo night and Powerball jackpot, bro, I would do that. But there's not. So we're going to put him here. Again, the fact that he's just very glitchy right now, the fact that he has a hard time hitting small characters unless you use specific moves, the fact that he doesn't use a couple of his abilities, it is not really worth it. You're gonna lose more than you win playing with Superman. The only time you will win with Superman is if people just keep walking into your super armored like stuff. All you have to do is just wait it out, and he's stalled for so long. Just go. And with characters like Harley Quinn, Joker, Finn, Morty, you know, all these small characters or disjointed hitbox characters or just really, really fast recovery type characters, Superman is going to have trouble. You are going to need to be a Superman main, and you're going to need to be very good at how you play MultiVersus in order to really make Superman work. Next character that we have is Taz. Now, Taz is actually pretty fun. Taz is fun. Taz is really good too, in my opinion. I think that this character is it's so straightforward, very easy to use. He's kind of along the lines of Garnet, but stronger. And when I say stronger, he's just smaller. Being small in this game is a huge win most of the time because it's very hard to hit you. I think that he deserves to go in front of, I want to say, Black Adam. When it comes to ease of use, he's very easy to use. And when it comes to what he wants to do, very easy. You're not going to win all your games, but you're going to win most of them. And I think we're also going to probably move Shaggy in front of that. And we're going to move Garnet in front of that. Nah, let's do this instead. Nah, I was right. Okay, we're going to do that. So yeah, Taz, very straightforward, easy to do, very easy to execute his stuff. He has super armor. It's not really super armor, but it's basically super armor. If you hit him when he hits you, you're going to both take damage, or he's most likely going to come out on top. He can move around and charge. I mean, a lot of his stuff is very cut and dry. He's a very simple character. He's like Banana Guard. The only reason why I don't put him in the 7/7 slot machine category is because he doesn't win like that. He doesn't really have anything that makes him exceptional. It's just like, he's just good. He's decent. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy. But once you learn how to play Taz, he still doesn't belong in that category, in my opinion. You're still probably going to take some L's. And he's not broken, but he's just strong. Next character that we have is Tom and Jerry. This is rough. Okay, so there's two types of Tom and Jerry players. You have a Tom and Jerry players that actually play Tom and Jerry, and then you have like the stun locker Tom and Jerry's where it's like, I just hit you a few times. I don't use any of my extra stuff. I'm just gonna side hit you and then knock you up, and then side hit you and knock you up. And because Tom and Jerry's hitboxes are massive on almost everything, it's very easy to get wins with this character without actually having to do anything extra. I don't think he's a straight up slot machine character. I'm not going to use his lock potential right now as a way to classify this character, Well, no, because once patches hit, I'm gonna make a new tier list. You know, once ranks drops, make a new tier list. As it stands right now, Tom and Jerry Slot Machine. And as long as you perfect the locking of this character or just being able to use your massive hitboxes to your advantage, he's actually a relatively easy character to play and to win with. Yes, he has a lot of options. Yes, he is one of the more mechanical characters. Yes, we all know this. But in order to do his job, it is not that difficult. You can pick up this character and you will probably end up winning, even if you have no clue what you're doing. Because right now, if you can just master the locking, or even without locking, his hitboxes are just very big and he's very fast. So if you could just do that, you're good to go. On top of that, you can spam Jerry. Shoot Jerry, knock the person back, go grab Jerry, there you go. And he also has a few disjointed hitboxes as well, which makes him very small. Yeah, so we're gonna keep him there until we see some more patches and whatnot, and we'll revisit this topic. Again, we will have a 2v2 tier list coming out on Friday, so stay tuned for that. But in terms of 1v1s, this character gets a solid pass. He's like teetering between Ticket Scratcher and Slot Machine though. The next character that we have is Velma. So Velma. Now, a lot of people think this character sucks as well, and again, that's just kind of a misconception. When characters are difficult in this game, they are considered bad. Velma's not actually a bad character. Can she use a buff for the more average player base? Yes, but if you're a person that actually mains Velma, you'll probably understand what I'm saying here, where she's not actually bad. She just needs a little bit of oomph to make her on par, but she's not a bad character where it's unplayable. So, again, if you're a Velma main, you understand this. If you're not a Velma main and you play Velma, or you just listen to everybody else, you'll probably think that, oh, she sucks and oh, she's very blah, blah, blah. Velma's actually not that bad. You just have to understand how to play MultiVersus, and you have to understand how to play the character. She's like Rick, except Rick is a more well-rounded character than Velma is. So, I definitely think she is the Powerball jackpot. She's right there along with Rick. Like, I don't think she's bad. But again, you're gonna need to put a tons and tons of games. You have a 1 in a bajillion chance of winning, not knowing what you're doing. But once you put the time in, you will start winning more matches. She is not as bad as people think. Again, just because she's difficult, just because you need to learn how to play MultiVersus, you need to learn how to play neutral, you need to learn how to space, you need to learn how to do a lot of things. You need to learn the fundamentals of the game to play characters like Velma, to play characters like Rick, Arya. You know, you're gonna need to learn the fundamentals of the game before you can play these characters. And just because you need to learn those type of things doesn't make a character bad. Again, I think it's just a misconception because there are so many easy to play and easily abusable characters in this game right now that it seems like what isn't abusable, what isn't easy, sucks. And that's just not the case. The next character that we have is Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman has a lot of... well, Wonder Woman's a tank, but she's very fast to be a tank, which is weird. She has high and low hits, so it's not that hard to hit characters such as Gizmo and things like that that are very small. She has massive hitboxes. She can block projectiles. She has super armor that she can put on at will. She's a very solid character and a very strong character at that. She has a way to lock you up. If you learn how to pressure and play aggressive and play Wonder Woman properly, which shouldn't take you that long, she is very phenomenal. Like, she is one of the most phenomenal characters in the game, and she's very versatile as well. I think that she's easily a 777 slot machine, but I'm going to put her in the back because she does take a little bit more time to learn how to play properly. She's not just going to reward you for button mashing, that's for sure, but it doesn't take long to just like maybe 5 games. You'll learn eventually. Her neutral air is really, really good. It breaks armor. It's very fast. It hits multiple times. Again, her shields, hitboxes are massive. Her up specials massive. Like, she has massive everything when it comes to playing this character. On top of that, she's very tanky, so she's hard to ring out. Disjointed hitboxes. Like, she has a lot going for her, for sure. So she deserves to be in the 7-7 slot machine. Even if you don't know what you're doing with Wonder Woman, you'll win more than you'll lose. And once you learn how to play Wonder Woman, you're definitely going to win more than you lose. As I said, this is going to be the most brutally honest tier list you are ever going to get. I expect so many comments down below of disagreements because, let's be honest, the truth hurts. No, it does. But as always, I love reading your comments. So again, comment away. A 2v2 tier list will be coming out on Friday, so make sure you subscribe. That way you are notified. I just didn't want to do both in the same video because it was going to be a very long video. Until next time, you know what I always say. Think you guys doing what? Popping often. Will often.